everyone, I'm Carmen and I'll be going on the world race. This is my first video blog, so we'll see how it goes. But in this video I just kind of want to share with you my story and why I feel called to the world race. Well, I've always gone to church since I was little. I got saved at church camp when I was 12 years old, but it probably wasn't until about 4 years ago that I really started to notice God working at my heart. It went from my parents telling me to go to church to me actually wanting to go to church and learn more about God. So eventually I just decided I was going to get a new Bible and I was going to read through it. And I did, July 31st of 2012 through December 31st of that year. I just wanted to start off 2013 new and fresh, and I'm really glad I did that because 2013 was a pretty hard year for me, and having read the Bible and learning more about God and having gotten to know Him better is really what helped me make it through. There was a lot of hard things that went on that year, but probably the hardest was my parents and sisters moving back overseas to the Netherlands. Eventually I was the only person left in Texas to finish my bachelor's degree, but my best friend's family, they were able to open up their home to me for a year, and they're a very good Christian family, and God's presence was just always in their home, and there was just so much positivity and love and joy that flowed from their home that it was just hard not to want that. So during that year is really when I began to seek God even more and love Him more. And over time just kind of began to grow a heart for missions. And so last summer I went on my first mission trip to Camp Barnabas. It's a camp for special needs children, and I was just able to serve there and share God's love there, and it was a really great week, and I really enjoyed being there. So during my last semester in college, which was this past February, I was sitting at my first office job. Graduation is coming up. I was having to make a lot of big decisions. Do I move to the Netherlands with my family? Do I stay there and take the job? I had no clue what to do, so I just began thinking, like, this is what I'll be doing for the next 45 years, sitting behind a desk on a computer. I really enjoyed the work and the people that I worked with, but it just wasn't enough. I needed to do something more meaningful. So during that time I bought a book by Greg Matt called Finding God's Will. I just bought it to help me figure out what I was supposed to do with my life and what God's will was for my life, because I was curious to know. Having read this book, I learned that finding God's will starts by doing God's will. And at the time I was like, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense, but it does, because what it means is that finding God's specific will for our lives starts by doing His general will. We all have our own specific will, like who we're going to marry, what job to take, where to live, but we all share God's general will. But too often as people, we're more worried about our specific will that we forget to do His general will, and that's what I did. I was more worried about moving back overseas to the Netherlands, or if I should take the job, or what I should do after graduation, that I wasn't doing His general will. And His general will is His Word. It's the Bible. It's where God tells us what He provides for us through His Son Jesus and how He wants us to live our lives. And by walking with Him and obeying Him, we will be doing His general will. And by doing that and submitting our ways to Him, we will be in a position to learn our specific will for our lives. And so that's what I began to do, that's what I began to try to do. So as I really began to focus on my walk with God, I really started to pray to Him more and read His Word. So during that time I just felt like He was pulling at my heart to do more mission work. I knew I really wanted to help people and travel, but I didn't really know exactly what type of mission work He wanted me to do or where He wanted me to go. But during that time, a friend told me about the world race, and so I began to research it, and I was like, that's really cool. It's an 11-month mission trip to 11 different countries, you know. So I was like, what the heck, I'll go ahead and apply, and I did, and I really didn't think I was going to get accepted, but I did, and that's kind of where I'm at now. And it's a really big step in my faith. He won't be calling everyone to take this big of a step, in your faith. All He asks of you is to follow Him and His Word, and I just encourage you to do that. And He will start opening and closing doors and really make your path where He wants you to go. If you would like to be part of my ministry and support me in this journey for God, you can do so financially by giving a tax-deductible donation by clicking the Support Me tab somewhere up there, and you can do so prayerfully by praying for my team and I. Will be needing God's leading and guidance through every step of this journey, from preparing for the world race until we arrive back and adjust back to our normal lives. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you for all your support. Until next time.